First Man is the new film from Damien Chazelle, director of Whiplash and La La Land, and is the true story of astronaut Neil Armstrong and his journey, both personally and professionally, to becoming the first man to set foot on the moon on July 20th, 1969. Now, I have found the space race era of the 1960s so fascinating since I was, I guess, almost 10 years old. Before I had internet, I would rent every book on the subject from the local library and even my school library. My family would get me books and model kits of it for Christmas and my birthdays, and I would watch numerous documentaries on it, and also other movie versions of it, from The Right Stuff to Apollo 13 to the miniseries From the Earth to the Moon. I lost myself in my research so much that it got to the point where I could name the names of every astronaut who flew every single one of those American space missions, from the first one to the final moon landing mission, which was Apollo 17. And so when I heard about this movie and saw the first trailer for it, I was so looking forward to seeing it. It was the movie of 2018 that I most wanted to see, and having seen it, it is probably my favorite film of the year. Ryan Gosling is the latest in a long list of actors to play the late Neil Armstrong, and he does it wonderfully. The mission scenes seem to be the moments where he has a lot of dialogue to say, probably because the writing was from transcripts. But the rest of the scenes where there were no transcripts, he seems to have much less to say. I like to think that that was done to reflect the different sides of Armstrong and that it was not lazy writing. I'm sure it was the first one. Claire Foy also does a wonderful job as Armstrong's wife, Janet. I also heard that this movie has renewed interest in that woman, and that's good to hear. For people like me who have researched this subject thoroughly, the movie will not be all that suspenseful, since those people will already know what will happen to not just Armstrong before he lands on the moon, but also to certain people around him. For example, when this movie introduced certain real-life astronauts, I was going, oh, I know what will become of him, or, oh, his story is not going to end well. Same thing with the recreations of certain space missions. For example, the first moon landing, Apollo 11, was Armstrong's second space mission. The movie also recreates his first mission, which was called Gemini 8, and I already knew what was going to happen with that mission. But what Damien Chazelle does so wonderfully here, which is different from previous movie versions like Apollo 13, which is still one of my all-time favorite movies, is that he brings a gritty documentary approach to the entire movie, that it appears as if we are watching a movie made with existing documentary footage, and also as if we are right there on the space missions with Armstrong and his fellow astronauts. And that brings me to mention the visual effects, which must get an Oscar nomination, because it looks like real space and the real moon, and not CGI or models or any kind of movie magic. The art direction and production design must get nominated also, because the recreation of that period and that era is top-notch. Plus, it's nice to see another space movie since Gravity, where no sound can be heard in space. Thank you so much for watching, and there will be more, because Lehtonen's Home Theater is always showing.